Congratulations, Gordon, the new Who's Number One heavyweight champion. You won by submission out there against Pedro Marinho. How are you feeling right now?
Well, I was always the heavyweight champion, first of all. Ever since the belt was created, it was always mine. Just Tim was holding it, and then Flo was holding it, but it was always mine. I feel good. I'm just happy to be back, to be honest. It's been a long road. I'm still not 100%. I'm still only like 60 to 70% with my stomach. I'm able to at least function as a human being now from day to day, and I'm just happy I can go out there and manage my stomach enough to compete against the best guys. So that's the main thing. I'm just happy to be back. I put like an impossibly hard submission for my call today. It's a smother tap. It was a fake move. It's basically just to create a dilemma between using a smother and then going to double underhooks, which he figured out posting the armpit was going to make it hard for me to go into the smother, and then I just refused to go to double underhook, so he kind of figured it out and kind of messed me up. But then someone in the crowd was yelling at me, like, "You only got 5 minutes left, like, what's on the card, win by decision?" And then I said to him right there, I was like, "Okay, I'll finish something else," and then within 20 seconds I was on his back and I finished it. So then I just I went cross wrist, trapped his arm, and then strangled him. And as I was strangling him, I was saying to him, "You won this one. I couldn't smother tap you. Congratulations." And then he tapped. Overall, I'm just happy to be back. Happy that I can finally compete against someone who was my own size, who is not 40 years old, which being older is an advantage. No one understands that. But someone who's relatively my age, my size, my weight at least. The 205 champion for Who's Number One and the double gold reigning IBJJF world champion. There's just no excuses that anyone can make this time because he's an active champion who is my size and my age. So I think it's fair to say that I just made him look like a white belt. I don't know what people are going to say after this one. It'll be interesting to read once I get home.
Did anything surprise you about Pedro when you kind of locked up with him? Have you improved since 2019?
Well, 2019, the match was short. I just pulled guard and heel hooked him in like 2 minutes, so I didn't really get to feel too much of him. He definitely felt stronger than 2019. Part of it is because he had to do a weight cut to 88 kilos, and this time he was 20 pounds heavier. He was definitely much bigger than he was in 2019, but he just competed at middle heavy for Worlds, which is like 192-ish with just body weight. And then he weighed in at 215, and I knew that putting on all that weight, just trying to be big, was a big mistake. 5 minutes in, he was like already exhausted, and I smiled at him in the match, and I was like, "Ooh, man, this is gonna be a long 30 minutes." And then I actually wasn't planning on insisting on wrestling with him, but then I heard Kai Otero talking about how it wasn't smart for me to wrestle with him because his wrestling's so good. So I made it a point to just go out there and out-wrestle him and take him down and play from top position. So, I'm happy with it. Bummed out that I didn't get to smother him, but, it is what it is.
Is that something like you've been working in the gym? The smother, is that something like we're going to see a DVD on soon? Or?
So I actually have been working on it. John actually has a free YouTube video of John talking about it on Fanatics. I didn't teach the smother in my mouth instructional because of the fact that I didn't want people to just be like, "Oh, this is bullshit." I wanted to do it in competition first. Which I did. I used a dilemma between the smother and the double underhooks. At one point, I actually said to him, "Okay, fine. You want to give me double underhooks? I'll take double underhooks." I was kind of talking to him the whole match, but I didn't want to teach it because I didn't want people to just think that it was bullshit. But I assure you, it works. And you saw how much of a reaction I got out of him today by just smothering him, making him bridge. And one thing that is important to note that I did teach in the instructional is the idea of backtracking to fatigue someone, where you pass their guard or almost pass the guard, and you move back into the legs to get them moving, and then you pass their guard again. There's multiple times where I just had him mounted, and I moved right back into his legs. One time I let him fully regard, and I patted him on the chest, and I said, "There's some breathing room, like take a breath," and then I just passed his guard again. There's a lot more tactics and pacing and technique that goes into this than most people even see or can understand. And at this point, you have to believe me because the results just speak for themselves. So I don't really have to talk shit anymore because it's like a joke at this point.
You think it's cool with you and Pedro? Do you guys have words afterwards at all?
I know he's disappointed because the match was so one-sided, but I thanked him, and he thanked me. I told him to come train sometime because we were talking shit before 2019 ADCC, and then ever since then we've been kind of friends. And this was nothing personal. I had to send a statement to Felipe, so he knows what he's getting himself into next month. And I think that this more than did that. Yeah, I'm cool with Pedro. I told him to come train. Whenever I'm in Houston, I'm going to go train with him. So he's a cool kid. I like him, and definitely a lot of respect for him. Showing up and taking this match today.
Yeah, that's been talking about Felipe, of course, is coming up very, very soon. Do you think he was watching? Do you think he got the message? Anything else you'd like to say to him?
No, he was definitely watching. If he's smart, I don't know. He's kind of dumb. If he's smart, he should be watching. And I think that given his last two performances, especially the one against Wagner, after he saw what I did to Wagner, I think there's still kind of a way to rationalize, like, Gordon competed against Wagner a year and a half ago. He's not the same as he was. But I think tonight proved that I'm much better than I was a year and a half ago. And I think Felipe knows where he stands with Pedro. And I think tonight, if more than anything, was an eye-opener to Felipe. Like, man, I really fucked this one up by agreeing to this match.
Is there anybody else who you'd like to defend the heavyweight title against?
Yeah, I wanna have a chance to beat the two guys who have beaten me at black belt. So I'd like to fight. I know he's much smaller right now, but I would still like to get this win back. There's Leandro Lowe and Vinny. Vinny's very big right now. I think he's like a fat 290. But Vinny's the only guy actually who, when I couldn't get matches, agreed to a match, but then had to pull out because he had a fight, an MMA fight to do. So I definitely want to get a rematch against Vinny. I definitely want to get a rematch against Leandro. That way, when I beat Penna and I beat those two guys, I'll have beaten everybody at black belt who's beaten me. And then I want to fight all the guys who I haven't fought before, Victor Hugo, Lovato, guys like that. And then I just want to start running back the guys who I've fought at black belt but haven't been able to submit, Lucas Barboza, guys like that. And then all that's really left after that is the next generation. The guys coming up who are winning worlds now, the 19, 20, 22-year-olds, 23-year-olds, the guys who are the generation after me, and guys who are killing it. A lot of those guys now are smaller, like Ty and Mika and all those guys, and are much smaller than me, so not really those guys so much yet, at least. But a lot of the guys who are coming up will be the guys who I'm getting ready to fight. There's kind of a gap in the generations now, where like Cyborg's generation and Andre's generation are kind of moving out and retiring, and then I'm kind of stuck in the middle where I was fighting those guys, and there's no more of those guys anymore, and then the new guys are coming in, so I'm kind of in this weird limbo right now where there's kind of like a miss in the generation. So it'll be exciting to see with the new generation, especially with all the technology that we have now, the instructionals, the YouTube videos, all the content that Flo has, where you can watch any match that you want. It'll be interesting to see what kind of tools and tricks the new generation has as they start coming up.
Congratulations, Gordon. Anything else you wanted to say, or anybody else that you wanted to thank while we're here?
Well, first of all, I'm back. I survived my tummy ache, thank God. I'm not out of the woods yet, but it's been better. Thank you to, I'm not going to list all the sponsors, but you see, we got a nice Joe Rogan, little patch here, and all the other guys. Future has been great to me. They just came out with their new Champions Reserve, and they have all this cool stuff that they're doing. No gear brands are doing, so a big shout out to Future for doing a bunch of new stuff, and then obviously to my whole team, and to John for coaching me, to Nat for coaching me, to my teammates every day for being there to train with me, to Zanga and BJJ Fanatics. I mean, there's a million people to thank. I'm not going to sit here and bore you all, but I can only say that I have a very good and supportive team behind me, and I wouldn't be able to do it without them.
It's great to hear that Gordon is back. That's music to our ears.
Yes,
sure.
Yes, I'm back for now. My stomach's been getting better progressively, so let's just hope that it stays on track. I've had relapses before, but I think today proved that I can at least show up and compete. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for these next few months, and then once we get past ADCC, then we'll go from there.
Congratulations, Gordon.
Thank you.
Sick.